Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. We are still in Epping, New Hampshire. Epping, not effing. Epping, New Hampshire. Epping, New Hampshire. Yikes. That's okay. All right, so I am here with Stephanie Schafer from Nebraska, from the Panhandle of Nebraska.
The Panhandle of Nebraska.
I had no idea Nebraska really had a panhandle.
Yes.
Because that's a thick panhandle.
Yes.
That's how you guys do it out there in Nebraska.
Everybody says, where are you from? I said, basically, Wyoming. Everybody thinks Nebraska ends at North Platte, halfway through the state. So I have to tell them Wyoming.
That's not true. You're not from Wyoming. You're from Nebraska.
20 miles from the border.
Okay.
So we tell them Wyoming, Nebraska. It gives them context.
So we're up here in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
There are, I don't want to say tax breaks to buy stuff in New Hampshire, but there's not taxes, so there's a tax break. So some people come up here, and I think like some of the businesses that are within 10 miles of New Hampshire get, I don't want to say they get a tax incentive, but is there anything like that out there?
No.
Is that just why you say you're from Wyoming?
No, I should. Nebraska has very high taxes across the board.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's because nobody lives there.
Wyoming or New Hampshire, I guess.
Or New Hampshire, live free or die.
I could live here. Oh yes.
Yeah. We're all jerks. I'm a masshole, so. Anyway, let's kick things off. Before I shake your hand, we are going to apply some Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. You can find them at leadslingerswhiskey.com. You don't want to drink the hand sanitizer, and you don't want to put the whiskey on your hands. But Lead Slingers Whiskey is where you can find all of their adult beverages. And info at leadslingerswhiskey.com is where you can get some hand sanitizer. I'm going to hand sanitize. It's very watery.
Woo!
I told you. And you are going to take some of this with you. I have a bottle for you.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you, Lead Slingers.
Lead Slingers, baby. Whew. All right. You ready?
Let's roll.
Let's go. So, you are out here with a girl and a gun.
Right.
And a girl and a gun. There's a lot of girls and a lot of guns doing a lot of stuff here in New Hampshire.
Yes. We're having a good time.
Having a good time. Let's turn left. It looks like there's civilization, but it's New Hampshire. It won't last long. Right, it won't last long. All right, so tell us how you've got a lot of stuff going on. You're with a girl and a gun. You have you're with a DC project, and you're an instructor and a competitive shooter.
Yep.
You got a lot of stuff going on, girl.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So I started or got my involvement in firearms about 5 years ago, a little over that. I started shooting with my boyfriend more than anything just because he had guns in the house. So I could at least pick one up and know how to use it and was familiar with it and that
Very
sort of
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
And that turned into trying to figure out other opportunities for people in the area to learn firearm skills because we didn't have that resource or those opportunities in western Nebraska.
Or Wyoming.
Or Wyoming. So the two of us, my boyfriend and I, went and got certified together to instruct classes. We started teaching about 5 years ago, and just have never turned back, and it's just kind of snowballed and keeps growing into a bunch of different things.
Nebraska's now free America, right?
No.
It's not?
No. Nebraska is an open.
Kansas, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Nebraska is an open carry state. But I'm a concealed carry instructor for the state of Nebraska. You do have to take a course and pass your exam and all of that sort of thing to get a permit.
Is there a specific class that you have to teach? Or are there, like, you have to...
There are standards. The state of Nebraska has a standard set of a list of
a list
skills.
of classes.
Yes,
a list of
things,
skills.
Skills, yes, or topics. They say you have to instruct on.
Okay.
They mandate certain things that you have to instruct on. So they give you that list. Of course, you can go over and above, but these are the minimum requirements for somebody to teach.
Right.
You actually have to make an application to the State Patrol, provide all of your curriculum to them.
Wow.
PowerPoint, handouts, all of that sort of thing you provide to them. It takes quite a bit of time, 3 or 4 months, to get approved to be certified to teach those classes.
Holy moly. Can you just take someone else's class? Like if you had, if a girl and a gun pistol course was the approved...
No.
No?
No, you have to be credentialed, certified by the State Patrol in Nebraska to teach that specific class.
Wow.
So, and that's just the concealed carry only. Obviously, we do beginner classes, defensive handgun classes, handgun skill builder, kind of across the board, different types of classes. But that specific concealed handgun permit is a mandated curriculum by the state.
Wow. That's interesting. In Massachusetts, they have about 26 classes right now that they'll accept. And the one that I teach the most is the NRA's home firearm safety class, which is 4 hours non-live firing.
Yeah.
And it meets the requirements for a license to carry.
Well, one of the things that I find interesting with the Nebraska class, let me back up a second, because I teach classes, I feel that it's important for people to be educated and know how to safely use their handguns.
Of course.
But I also believe the Second Amendment is a right, that somebody shouldn't have to come take a class. However, if they have to, I would prefer that they come take it from me.
Of course.
And get educated in the right way to do things. State of Nebraska has a shooting qualification.
What?
Yes, but 30 rounds.
Yeah.
And it's something crazy like only 6 of those 30 rounds have to be from concealment for a concealed carry class.
Wow.
So we mandate that all of those be from concealment. I mean, that's the point, right? You're taking a concealed handgun class. You should be able to draw and shoot from concealment.
Sure.
But it's only a 30-round test. So you would think that it would be, they want you to take a test, you'd have to shoot more than 30 rounds, but interesting.
So this is how ridiculous, this is how I don't want to say anti-gun. I do mean anti-gun. This is how ridiculous it is in Massachusetts. We have some politicians that are trying to make it so that we have live fire as part of our curriculum. They want it to be 5 hours of live firing with a minimum of 50 rounds. So I always tell people, well, I don't know what you do for the other 4 hours and 45 minutes. But 50 rounds, you know, if you're a non-gun person, I guess 50 rounds sounds like a lot.
Yeah, one at a time.
Right.
That's the other thing that concerns me a little bit with it. And so as we teach, again, wanting people to be educated, it's not about giving them the permit for us. We have a prerequisite for concealed carry. It's not something the state of Nebraska says that we have to do, but as instructors for our business, we would like you to take a beginner class before you come to a concealed handgun permit class.
Very cool.
Concealed class is to teach you the laws and all of the different ways that you can store and carry concealed, not to teach you how to shoot. If you want to carry concealed, do so responsibly, get educated, take a class that's going to teach you how to shoot, which is what a beginner class would do.
Look at you guys. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah. So
that is an awesome idea.
We lose some business that way, but that's okay. It's important for people to be educated, so.
I think it's, I hate to complain about my guys in Massachusetts, but I will. In Massachusetts, the chief of police decides who decides if he wants to allow people to carry in his town. So if there's an anti-gun chief and he doesn't want people carrying in his town, he can put restrictions on your license. Even though the license is a license to carry, he can put restrictions on it. And it can be like target or sports shooting, so going back and forth to the range. It can be for hunting, it can be for employment, or it can be for no restrictions. And I have some friends that are gun instructors that will tell, they will say, well, listen, I can't believe you're doing a class with someone and you don't do any live firing with them and you're letting them have a certificate. You give them the certificate so they get a license to carry. And I'm like, I'm down with freedom. I don't want them to have a certificate, but if they do, I'm going to go through the minimum requirements so they get this. If they want to learn to shoot more, then this is, the class that I teach doesn't teach that. They should certainly do more, but yeah, I think it's cool. It's cool that you guys a concealed class is a concealed class, and you need to shoot before that. That's cool. That's where I'm getting at. Oh, so I know what I'm thinking. So it's interesting to me that these buddies will say, hey, listen, the chief of police doesn't have the right to and he shouldn't make the decision on who can carry and who can't. I'm not going to sign off on someone's certificate unless I see them shoot. And I think to myself, so what do you think? You're the chief of police? Like, you're doing the exact same thing the chief is doing, except they're shooting to make you happy rather than the chief happy. And to me, there's no difference between you and the chief.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
Yeah. Well, so I ran into a guy in the lobby at the hotel this morning.
I saw this. I love this. So if you don't mind, I'll have to screenshot that and put it in here.
Yeah. So, a guy in the lobby this morning sees me carrying my gun case, 6-hour gun case, got my 2 handguns in it for class today, and he says, oh, you're here for that class? I ran into one of the other ladies last night, and he said, so I assume you have a concealed permit wherever you come from. And I said, I do. I can't speak to all the other people here, but I assume so, and know the laws of New Hampshire where I'm coming to, and has reciprocity. And yeah,
I've done my homework.
Yes. So he goes on to tell me that he's a lawyer in the state of New York, and he works for a judge, and I'm not from New York. I don't know how their system works, but one of the judges out there that issues their concealed permits, he works for. And so people send in their requests or their applications for a permit to him, and he tells me at this point in the conversation that they get tons of requests that say, it's my Second Amendment right, I want my permit. Rejected. That is not a sufficient reason. They send it back. If the people respond with a legitimate reason, he tells me, they'll give them their permit.
I do not want to jump through hoops to make you happy.
Yeah.
I always tell people this. People say to me, so why do I want to get a gun license? I'm like, don't tell the police you want to overthrow the government. Don't tell the police you want to shoot zombies. Don't tell the police you want to shoot clowns. Have a gun for all of those reasons, but don't tell the police because you'll sound like a crazy person.
Yes. So, this guy, fortunately, Robin saved me. We were needing to leave the hotel to go to our class, and she walked up and said to him, I think that's her. We're going to have to agree to disagree. Look.
There we go.
And he said, yeah, I got that. And walked off.
Unbelievable.
Crazy.
It's it's completely ridiculous. I also tell people when they come in and they say, hey, listen, I've got a constitutional right to be able to get, dude, I hear you. You've done your homework. Awesome. Yeah. What do you really want it for? Because you don't, to me, I don't want somebody to go to the cops and say, oh, I've got a call. Dude, you don't really? Yeah. Gotcha. What are you going to do? Oh, my buddies are going to go shooting. I want to hang out with them. Oh, cool. Not a crazy person reason. Yeah. My husband's got guns, or my friends are getting into it, or, these are non-crazy person reasons. But I also tell people, it doesn't matter to me what you want to gun. Yeah. None of my business, man. It is a bunch of nunya.
Well, it also matters from an education standpoint how you teach them. It may be different for somebody who just wants to safely know how to pick it up and handle it and is never going to touch it.
Right.
But if somebody's going to carry it for personal protection or self-defense, you may need to teach them some additional things, some additional skills.
Yep.
If it's just going to be target practice, they may need to know something different. So it's important from an education standpoint for an instructor to know that.
We're going to get our picture in front of the 6-hour sign.
All right.
I guess I should put my blanket on. They see my plates from Massachusetts. They know I'm an asshole. All right, we're going to hop out and do a little selfie. Let's do it, girl.
Perfect.
Right, uno momento.
Chinese fire drill.
I know, right?
Oops.
right, so we've done a good job talking about Nebraska and what you have to do to get a permit in Nebraska, which is cool. 5 years you've been doing this?
5 years I've been doing this. 5 years I've been teaching and learning. Never always just the teacher, sometimes the student too, which is why I'm out here.
Which is why you're here,
learning.
Yeah. Very cool.
And competitive shooting.
Yes. How did you get into that?
So this is a funny story. 3 years ago, my boyfriend and another guy who we kind of the three musketeers, we kind of go everywhere and shoot matches together. Well, that started about 3 years ago when my boyfriend came home and said, me and Brad, we registered, we're gonna go shoot this 3-gun match a couple months from now. It's like, what am I? What am I? You chopped liver? You know, you're gonna go? What am I gonna do? So I logged on the website, I registered myself and said, hey, guess what?
Guess what? The three of us are going.
I'm going with you. You're taking me with you.
Thought you had a weekend off, but no.
I don't think before that point I had never really picked up a rifle or a shotgun. I had never done 3-gun.
Just handgun?
Just handgun.
Okay.
And I learned.
Very cool.
So my first match was a little bit rocky.
They all are.
But then I found a girl and a gun. That was my second match, a girl and a gun fall fest.
Wow.
And it really just kind of took off from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did you, that's how you got competing, and then that's the second one was when you met the girl and a gun.
Yeah.
A gun and a girl.
Yeah, a girl and a gun.
A girl with a girl. And now you are a girl and a gun.
A girl and a gun, yes. And I have a girl and a gun and a daughter. My 15-year-old has been shooting with us.
Wow.
So we've got her the belt, the gun, the gear, and we're kind of getting there with her. So we're making plans. Hopefully she'll go to Fall Fest in Alabama with me this year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So.
What does she like to shoot?
She's got an H&K VP9. Is her pistol.
Nice.
I think she prefers shotgun. She does really good at shotgun. She has incredibly smooth, fast reloads.
It's because she's young.
Yes, that is why. Yes, yes.
Very cool.
I agree. So.
I held a VP9 over the weekend, and they are really comfortable.
Yeah.
Like a lot more than a Glock and an M&P.
Yeah. She tests me. She's a lefty. So, yeah.
I always tell people, do we have any God special people in the class?
So, well, she's actually right-handed, but she is left eye dominant. So she shoots her pistol righty, and then left for shotgun and rifle. So it's interesting to work with that and try and train that, because it's not how my brain works.
Wow. So. I am a cross-dominant freak of nature, and I do everything right-handed. I did notice this a bunch of years ago when I really focus on shooting a 22, like a 22 target pistol, semi-auto. I shoot a lot better left-handed, but it's just, I don't want to do it. Yeah. All right. Very cool.
Messes with your brain. Yeah.
It does.
So
it just
that's
feels
exciting
weird
for me.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
And she's going to start competitive shooting too?
She's going to start, yep.
15?
15.
That's great.
Yes, actually she's 14. She'll be 15 in July.
Can she legally possess something in your state?
She's with me. She's with a parent.
She's with you. Gotcha.
Yep. One of the 3 exceptions.
When my kids turned 15, I got them both an FID card. We have 2 licenses. We used to have 3.5 licenses in Massachusetts. That's how backwards we are, right? But my kids, when they turned 15, they got an FID card so they could possess non-large capacity rifles and shotguns. And my we're gonna bang a Huey here. Oh, maybe we shouldn't. This one's coming. At the beginning of all this COVID nonsense, I went out. I was feeling spontaneous and cool. So I told my daughter, I'm like, hey, we're gonna go buy you a shotgun today, sweetheart. And she's like, what? So we did. We had to buy it the next day because we couldn't find what we were looking for the first day. But yeah, she hasn't shot it. It's a 16 gauge. This is what I love about it, though. The gun that I have, one of my grandfather's shotguns, which is an Iver Johnson 12 gauge, and when my son turned 12, I got him an Iver Johnson 20 gauge, which is the same thing, just 20 gauge, and then the one I found for my daughter was a 16 gauge. So I think it's cool.
Awesome.
All right, we're gonna bang a Yui right here, right in the middle of nowhere, and I don't have the dash cam.
Right on Heading Road.
Heading Road. Heading back. That's all right. So you got in a Girl and a Gun. So when we did the Girl and a Gun competition, how did you were you totally on board after you did the Girl and a Gun stuff? You're like, I need to be involved with these ladies doing all this?
Yeah.
Did you ask Robin and Juliana, or did they ask you?
No. So I think I may have started my facilitator before that, but I hadn't really done anything with it. And so I kind of got into a Girl and a Gun because once I started teaching classes, and especially women's classes is really what I like to do, I'm like, these ladies are coming to take this class, and how are they supposed to continue to grow their skills if they don't have ranges or opportunities for additional training? So I started looking up, I literally Googling, new term, Googling how to start a women's shooting club.
Oh, wow.
And I figured out somebody else had already done all the work. So I looked at a couple.
Sign your name, send some money, get us some other women, rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, I looked at a couple different groups, and a Girl and a Gun was what I was looking for, and worked for me. And
very cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they actually had 3-Gun University is what kind of did it for me. They actually had a 3-Gun University, or did at that time, separate from Fall Fest, where you could go learn to shoot 3-gun. And they combined it with Fall Fest that first year. So
that's cool.
That's kind of pushed it over. And I think 3 years ago, I'm just getting ready to renew my 3rd year for my facilitatorship.
Very cool.
And again, Nebraska. See, Wyoming.
Nebraska. There we go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, and I love a Girl and a Gun has been really good. Lots of good opportunities for facilitators, and they really have a high level of standard and expectations for their facilitators. Yeah. Everybody can't do it. You've got to be an instructor, and there are some other qualifications and expectations to be a facilitator. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an indoor range or an outdoor range, or both?
We have an outdoor range.
Oh my God, you're in free
house.
America. I was just going to say, do you have your own range at your house?
Yep, we walk down the hill and we shoot.
That is free America right there.
Yeah, it works pretty good. Lots of trigger time.
That's cool.
And you get to do all of the holster work and shooting all different directions. Not quite 360, but
you still have a house
that you can't do. Yeah, still can't shoot at the house.
Right. Yeah, that would suck.
Lots of things you can't do at an indoor range.
That's cool.
That we can do.
That's cool. How close do you live in a neighborhood? Do you live?
No. Nebraska, rural Nebraska. So we literally. You don't have to say it twice. just Nebraska. We have no neighbors for, I guess, across the highway, but.
Wow.
No neighbors.
That's cool. It's
nice.
That is really cool.
We are pretty fortunate.
So, how did you get involved with the DC project?
I got directed to the DC project actually from a Girl and a Gun too. It used to link up, their websites linked together, and I saw, I think, a post on Facebook one day. These are the states that we're still looking for ladies for. Nebraska was one of them, and so I did a little bit of reading and what is this? And so my background for the last more years than I like to think at this point, 20 years plus, has been in the legal field. I've always worked for law offices, paralegal, and that sort of thing. And so
you talked to this lawyer today.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes, but I got to reading about the DC project, and it's
waves of thank you, officer.
Legislative and laws and all of that sort of thing.
All the legalese that you talk, that's your language.
Right up my alley.
Very cool.
So I think I sent a message to Robin, and she reached out to Diana Moeller.
Nice.
And I called and had a conversation with Di. I don't remember much of it. I think I was fangirling quite a bit at that point because it's Diana Moeller.
Right. She's a competitive shooter as well, and a police officer, and Miss DC Project.
Yeah.
Miss, I will not comply.
Yes. And I have her phone number in my phone.
I know, isn't it cool?
Yeah. So, along with lots of other women in the DC project and in the shooting community, I think that's one of the best things about becoming involved in a Girl and a Gun in the DC project is all the people like Charlie Cook.
I know, right? So this...
Awesome guy.
I tell everyone I'm just trying to keep up, man. I'm just trying to keep up. This was really funny. When we met last summer in DC, you came up to me. I don't know if you remember this.
Yes, I do.
You're like, oh my God, you sound just like you do on YouTube. What did you think I would sound like? That was really funny. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yep. Just a year ago we met. It was
just
about this
a year
time
ago.
last year.
It was. Yeah, and no DC project this year.
No.
Do you? Are you getting more? I know that the DC project is looking for more women in the state to do stuff locally.
Yeah.
In each of the states.
Yeah. So I have been pretty busy with DC project. Not the last 3 months with all of this COVID mess.
Nonsense.
I actually work at a hospital right now.
Wow.
So lots of hours there and lots of COVID stuff going on. But so I'm the Nebraska director for the DC project and looking for all of those women. We've got a good group of women going in Nebraska. And Nebraska is a little bit different than all of the other states. Nebraska has a unicameral. And so all of these, a unicameral, so one house, the second house is considered to be the people. So rather than Massachusetts, how many senators do you have in the state of Massachusetts? Many more than I do. We have 49 districts, and there's one senator per district, and that's it for the entire state of Nebraska.
Okay.
So many other states have multiple senators per district.
Yeah.
So they're finding 100 women or 200 women for each of those states. I only have to find 48.
Wow.
So, but yeah, so we're growing those groups, and then I'm the regional director for the Northwest region for the DC project. We've got 5 regional directors.
Wow,
and so
look
we
at
do
you,
everything from Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and then kind of across over through Nebraska, Iowa, and up to Minnesota.
Very cool.
My peeps.
That's awesome.
That I keep together. So yeah, it's growing and it's good. Taking it back to the state level now and meeting with those legislators at the state level to try and change things at that level as well.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys do anything where you I know, do you do anything where you show people how to write letters and how to get involved?
Yeah, so
like not just for your DC project ladies, but for, hey, listen, here's how, if you want to write a letter to politician, to whatever, the senator or state rep or something, here's what you need to say and here's how you go about doing it.
Yeah, go to dcproject.info and there's going to be links to that information on there. It's also going to have links that will let you figure out who those people are that you need to write letters to, and reach out to the person in your state and figure that out too. There are often templates out there that basically this is what's going on right now. These are the hot button topics, the hot button issues that we need to be sending letters on. And as the DC project continues to grow, the things that we're looking at doing are really getting more into the education or providing methods of educating, being a resource if somebody wants instruction, who do they need to go to for this, but talking to them about becoming involved, running for school board, running for city council, running for state senator to make a difference at that level, and then really just being involved, testifying when bills come up, preparing you for what to say, how to respond to those types of questions. So really educating people a lot more too is one thing DC Project's pursuing.
That's great.
Yeah, lots going on.
A lot going on. Have y'all been on this for 5 years?
Oh, 5 years.
Does your boyfriend regret getting you into going shooting and stuff?
No. I don't know. We could call him and ask him. No, right. I don't think so at all. He is so supportive and
very cool.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's a good teacher.
That's awesome. Yeah, I see pictures of you guys teaching classes together.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, classes have been going crazy. We had a group of 14 last weekend, 17 the weekend before.
Nice.
Crazy.
It is, it's nice. I mean, during all of this nonsense, I stopped teaching classes in March. And nothing in March. Yeah, I had a couple classes in March, and my classes are usually just a couple of people. But in June, they've been picking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
It's good.
Which is cool. It is cool.
It's good.
Do you find your students will... so you've got a basic class. Do you have to get a permit to possess a gun out there? No. Okay.
You can open carry.
Yep.
You just can't conceal without a permit.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can open carry in Massachusetts, but no one does it because there's a lot of anti-gun folks.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we tell people, really.
Yeah.
You open carry right now, you're kind of making yourself a target.
That is, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, if you open...
sad.
Right, like, you're the first person that gets shot.
Yep.
That's how I see it,
Yeah.
and I don't... we can't come up with statistics on whether or not open carrying prevents crimes from happening, or they're the first ones that get shot. You can't really follow that. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I could spend a whole nother hour talking to you about security and law enforcement and those types of things. Whether they should open carry, whether they should be in schools, and those are some issues that
we don't have an hour.
Have a little bit of some opinions on too, but.
So what about teachers in Nebraska? Do they have? I know the ALICE program. I know a lot of people are familiar with that. And then oh my God, I'm going to lose it. What's the other one that they have that started in Colorado that Laura Kono does? There's another one, and I can't come up with it, and I'll put a link for it because I forgot what it was.
Yeah. So
can teachers carry if they have a permit?
No. So in the state of Nebraska, the statute says that unless you are an on-duty law enforcement officer, you cannot carry a gun in a school.
Wow.
Even an off-duty officer.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
That's a lot crazy.
Yeah. So we did private security 4 years ago.
What do you mean we did private security?
So my boyfriend and I had an investigations and private security business. We were self-employed. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'll send you some pictures of me in the uniform.
I'm totally... You need to send these because I'm going to put these on the video.
I was the only female that we had.
Sure.
It was a little interesting, but some of that is where my training came in too. But so as we were doing security, we did a lot of concerts, different types of events like that. School security was always something that we thought we would get into when we were planning, and then as we started doing our research, we found out we can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of crap.
State of Nebraska has no standards for private security, and so we actually did a bunch of research on that too. What would this be like? Pulling from other states, what their requirements are.
Yeah.
What's a good standard? Kind of like law enforcement, you have to have a standard and a qualification. So we developed and trained all of our security officers.
Holy moly, girl!
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
I got a few things in my back pocket.
All right. You get to hang out with any cool rock stars when you're at concerts?
Oh, I probably have some pictures with Jared Neiman, Brett Michaels.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. That's cool.
I'm trying to think who else. Lita Ford was there one time.
Lita Ford. Mercy.
Kip Winger.
Mercy.
The Los Lonely Boys.
That is totally cool.
My girls thought it was pretty awesome that we were doing security for these concerts because they got to get in free and they were there early with us and they got to sit in the front row. So
that's cool.
It was pretty cool.
That is cool. How old do your kids have to be in order for you to start thinking your parents are doing cool stuff?
Well,
I'm still trying to figure out. Mine are 17 and 19.
Yeah. Yeah, some days.
I completely off the gun topic. A long time ago, I opened up for Ray Charles at a private gig. So we did like the dinner set stuff, and then Ray Charles played, and then we played after them. And so I got this poster from the gig of, our band opening up for Ray Charles. And so my son was in a history of rock class, and they brought up Ray Charles, and he's like, Dad, we talked about Ray Charles. I'm like, did you tell the teacher your father opened up for him? They're like, no. Why not? I don't know. Come on, man. Give your brother, give your dad some,
One claim to fame.
Right.
Can't even share it.
Yeah.
Kids these days.
Kids! Bastards. No, my kids are cool.
Yeah, I got good kids.
How many kids you got? No, you don't have to share, that's all right.
4. 4 girls.
4?
4 girls. Yep.
I have 4 sisters. That's why I moved away when I was 18.
I am the oldest of 4 girls.
Wow!
Yeah. We got a family of girls.
Man.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
How about those Red Sox?
Oh, no Red Sox.
Okay.
Are you a Red Sox fan?
I'm not a sports guy.
Okay.
So I do have a Red Sox story. There was someone that played for the Red Sox. His name was Nomar Garcia Parra.
Mm-hmm.
And back in the 90s, I was gigging as a musician, and Nomar came into the club that we were playing at. So somebody's like, hey man, Nomar's here. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I was talking to someone, I'm like, hey, did you hear that Antonio Garcia Parra was here? They're like, who? I'm like, the guy who plays for the Red Sox. It's not Antonio Garcia Parra, it's Nomar Garcia Parra. I'm like, oh. So much fun. Right. I had another, this is funny too, I had another one like that. I was in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, on an elevator, getting on an elevator with one of the other, I told people I was getting on an elevator with a girl, and it was whatever. It was the bass player's wife, and so we were riding the elevator together, and this 2 guys came walking in, and one guy was in a suit, and the other guy was in like a black leather suit, and he had like a hoop earring with a cross on it, jet black hair, and eyeliner, and he came up, and she's like, oh my gosh, I can't, and I looked at him, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Davy Jones. And he looked at me, he's like, why don't you just get out of here? And I'm like, what a jerk. So I get off the elevator and leave. I found out later it was David Cassidy.
Whoops.
Right. Partridge Family, Monkeys. Come on.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Anyway, craziness. All right, what else? We're actually almost where we need to be.
Yeah.
So we need to start wrapping things up. We know how, I'm going to put all the stuff for the DC project and links for for A Girl and a Gun. How can people find you if you live in, what'd you call it, Wykansas? Wyobraska, there we go.
Wyobraska, yeah.
Dude, what am I, geography
right.
teacher?
Well, Kansas is right there too. So,
right.
You could come up from Kansas. So how can you find me? On Facebook.
Yep.
At Stephanie Schafer Firearms Instructor.
Okay, we'll put a link for that.
Or DEFCOMP. So DEFCOMP. It actually stands for Defensive Competitive. We combine we mushed them together.
Very cool. DEFCOMP.
Yep, so DEFCOMP on Facebook or defcompusa.com is where all of our classes are at.
That is where all your stuff is at. All right, cool. Yeah. So we will put some links in there. Let's pull over and wrap this up. We'll pull it right to somebody's business here. All right, so you need to check out all of the Riding Shotgun with Charlie's on all of the social media. Make sure you check out the Self-Defense Radio Network. That's sdrn.us. That is where you find all of your pro-freedom podcasts. Please like and share and share all the Riding Shotgun stuff. You can watch the show on YouTube. You can watch it on Gunstreamer. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on iHeartRadio. We are trying to get the Stagecoach across America. I've got to get out of New England. Some people say I got to get out of the Northeast. And I'm working on that.
Come to Nebraska.
I had plans to come to interview you in Nebraska.
COVID.
But I know. Damn COVID. Well, to prevent you from spreading the COVID, we have some Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. Again, you can find them at leadslingerswhiskey.com, and you can get some hand sanitizer at info@leadslingers.com. This is for you. I hope you can take it back. I assume if you're flying with guns, you can fly with more than 3 ounces of some hand sanitizer.
Yes. Checked luggage.
Checked luggage. That's the way to go. Any horror stories with checked luggage?
No.
No? I have one. I'm going to share this and then we'll be done.
Okay.
One story. I was flying from Boston to Providence. I stopped and went to the bathroom before I picked up my suitcase, and someone stole my suitcase at the carousel. Yeah, I had 4 handguns that were in there.
Oh.
Right. And 2 weeks later, someone called me up and they're like, my roommate stole your stuff. I'm turning everything over to the Pawtucket Police Department. That's a small, ridiculous town in Rhode Island. And the judge wanted to put him away for 1 year of jail time. And selling a stolen firearm in Rhode Island is punishable by 10 years of jail time. So I wrote the judge a letter and said anything less than 10 years is unconscionable. And the judge put him away for 10 years. So my advice, here's our tip for the day, folks. The tip is this: if you're going to travel with firearms, don't go to the bathroom. I mean, before you get your suitcase.
Get your firearms first.
There we go. All right, listen, Stephanie, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm glad we could finally do this.
Yes.
We'll have to get Lanny on the show in Nebraska. Yeah, let's do it.
In October.
In October.
Yes.
What's in October?
Come in October this year. I had to postpone my Personal Protection Expo and Concealed Carry Fashion Show because of COVID. So
get me out there. I'll MC.
October 17th and 18th. Yeah.
I may have some experience MCing shows.
Yeah, you got a deal.
All right, awesome. Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
We'll see you guys. Thanks for watching.